She knew how much he hated that expression. Or you. Seriously? Of the two of us, who gets more dates? Having sex and dating aren't the same thing. She must have said that a little too loudly, because the blonde giant walking past her stopped and stared. What? She snapped, embarrassed and not needing extra male attention after her recent dating disaster. Not a thing, the giant said, his deep voice giving her shivers. He gave her a less than subtle once-over, then moved on. She and Elliot watched him walk away. For some reason, she fixated on his tight glutes, trying to be clinical about his physique instead of infatuated. Totally not my type. Too muscly. Now that is an ass, Elliot sighed. Too bad he's straight. How do you know? My spidey sense tells me these things. He wiggled his brows. That, and Jerry hit on him last week and got denied. That sexy blonde Adonis is strictly into Madge-Vag. What? You know, Madge-Vag. The magical vagina. Ava wanted the floor to swallow her when the young woman next to her laughed out loud and said, "That's hilarious." She leaned closer to her cousin's machine. "Would you please lower your voice? I know people here." "Me too," Elliot laughed. "Oh, relax. You know, getting horizontal with someone like that would be good for you." Together they glanced back at the hulkish blonde, lifting a bazillion pounds with a man whose features looked enough like him to be a relation. Something about the blonde interested her. He wasn't classically handsome, and he was so masculine. A face of hard planes and angles, and a body that he'd definitely put a lot of time into. Warning bells shrieked. "Nope," she shook her head. "Not my type. He's too macho. I can tell just from looking at him. Anyone who needs muscles that big is compensating for something else." "Oh? Want to bet on the size of his package? I say you're wrong about it being tiny. That man is totally rocking the hammock." "The what?" He grinned. "The banana hammock. You know, his stretchy underwear to make room for all that maleness." She felt winded, and not from exercise, because at that moment the giant looked over at her and winked. "You only say stuff like that to embarrass me." She casually looked back at Elliot, pretending she hadn't just been ogling a sexy stranger. "Yep. You need to loosen up, Ava. Live life. Enjoy a hot man without thinking 10 steps ahead. Try tossing that 5-year plan just for a little bit." "Why?" "Because you're 30 and your girl parts are starting to prune. You know they'll fall off if you don't use them soon." "Why? Why do you say things like this in public?" Not exactly professional for Dr. Ava Rosenthal to be discussing penis size and things falling off in public. She absolutely refused to look at the muscle guy again, because for some reason her girly parts demanded she'd take a harder look at all that maleness. Banana hammock. Jesus, Elliot, stop putting weird thoughts in my head. She left her cousin laughing. The woman next door started up a conversation with him, and she knew Elliot would have a new best friend before the afternoon ended. He was like that, sociable and charming, and everyone's funny pal. It was no wonder he never had a free evening. Unlike her. Ava went to the free weights and decided to try a few of the exercises she'd viewed on YouTube the night before. Her arms seemed less toned than she thought they should be for someone her age. As she lifted some light weights and did a few repetitions, she stared into the mirror but didn't see herself. Instead, she saw last night's mistakes all over again. Damn, Chris had been so wonderful. So how had he become such a dud? She had a new date planned for tomorrow evening, a get-together for wine at a casual bar in Queen Anne on a Sunday night. Not a date that screamed, "sex me up." Rather, one where she and her partner could get to know each other, not become drunk, then go their separate ways to get ready for work come Monday morning. With any luck, this new guy, Charles, would prove interesting and hands-off, at least. She sighed. "You're doing it wrong." She jumped and nearly dropped